Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the classic world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. We've talked at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same. So, listener discretion is advised. Now, let's walk the Path of Night.
Last time on Path of Night, after Britta killed Vito Zantosa, Johnny embraced the Revenant in an act of desperation. While Wynn confronted Raven about the coming end of the world, Miles, Johnny, and Neil fled Britta and Vito to the young Toreador's secret haven. Shaw revealed they had kidnapped Johnny's daughter, threatening to embrace her if they didn't hand over Vito. And Elsa Linden told the group about a daytime attack on Prince Rowlands' haven, leaving the Prince and Archon missing. Weathers told Johnny Shaw, Seneschal Reis, and Arabella Rowlands are working together and that the coterie would likely be blood hunted if they didn't hand Vito over to Reis. Now the coterie has just 2 hours to think of a way to locate any allies they may have, stop the coup, save Johnny's daughter, and get out of Elysium with their own lives intact.
Neil, there's tons of snowbanks everywhere. It's cold. Everyone's in a bad mood. And you find yourself walking through the streets headed to the nearest Kinko's to make your copies.
Got the satchel bag under. As soon as I go in, I will just immediately fax every page to the number that Miles gave me.
The woman that's working the counter, I wouldn't even call her a woman. She's like a little 19-year-old. She's friendly, but a little put off by you. She accepts the documents, and she begins actually running the faxes.
Thanks. And then, is it like a manual copier, or do you do the copies?
There's a manual over there.
Okay.
Which kind of shows you the way.
Fantastic. When you're done faxing those, I just need to make some copies.
Sure thing.
And I will make several copies of the whole thing.
Understood.
Just in case. And then stuff them all back in the bag. And once that is all done, it probably takes a little bit, I'm going to step outside, and I'm going to pull my phone out, and I'm going to call my ally, Fester.
It rings a few times. Hey,
bud.
Hey, how's it going?
I mean, I think you know how it's going.
Yeah. Sorry.
Look, there's a lot going on tonight, but I need to cash in a favor, and probably owe you one.
What can I do you for?
While I'm talking to him, I'm going to turn on my heightened senses for hearing, just to see if I can get any background while we're talking. So, I know you're probably watching a girl right now, right?
I'm one of them, yeah.
Because Shaw's a little busy to do it himself.
Shaw's making some moves, that's true.
Mm-hmm. Look, man. What are odds that you could do me a solid and put her somewhere where I can get her out? And like I said, I will, cash in the favors you owe, and I will owe you some in return. I know it's a big ask. And I'm not just doing it for Johnny. I know we're not coterie mates or nothing, but you're my friend, and I know what Shaw's going for, and I honestly am concerned about what kind of position you're going to be in when he's the big man.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. He's, I don't know. He used to be different, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, people let you down sometimes.
Yeah.
And honestly, if, where would you be if Shaw weren't around, right?
Yeah. I've been thinking about that.
Yeah.
Well,
I can...
Here's what's going on with your friend.
Yeah.
In about 10 minutes, the meeting's done.
Yep.
I can get a 1-minute window where she's poorly defended but not completely alone. Do you have anyone here that can just grab her and go?
I can work on it. I can let you know.
Find out quick. Send me a message. Let me know.
I will let you know real fast.
If you do that, yeah, I can do it. I can do it for you.
Okay. Hey.
In the name of better days, I guess.
Thank you, Fester. For real. You always been straight with me, and you've always treated me like a person, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate you too, Neil. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry that my clansmen said shit to you.
Hey, they were, better days, right? Good times and bad times.
Yeah, I guess so.
We can reminisce later. I'm gonna go. As we're talking, Neil just starts walking quick back towards Britta's place with the satchel full of copies.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll figure something out, and I'll let you know. Okay, I'll give you a call soon.
10 minutes, Neil.
Yeah, fast, real fast. Don't worry. As I'm walking, I'm gonna quick pull out and start dialing a couple other numbers, like before I get back to the thing, to basically all my contacts that I've got in the city morgue, in the sewage systems, in the underworld, just basically like New Haven's underworld.
Yeah.
Looking around to see, hey, there was like a weird daytime raid on some place where Rowlands was, that Miles was talking about. What do you know? What can you give me?
Okay. This is going to take a little while for the feelers to get out, but
I just want to put the feelers out. I know I don't have time for them to like wait around right now. I got to get back.
Okay.
But I just want to put the feelers out so they can hopefully call something in.
Absolutely. You do arrive back to the group. It looks like everyone's kind of like brooding in the midst of some dark shit.
Neil sort of hurries in, like holding his phone, putting it away, like clearly just hanging up with somebody. Who do we have that we trust inside the Elysium right now? We have, look, he pulls out the phone.
4 minutes.
I got 4 minutes left.
Weathers.
Jane. What? Jane?
Jane.
Okay. You're sure?
Do we trust Elise?
Elise is also would be on our side, but I don't know.
Somebody who can go, who can just grab and go. Elisa's gonna. Lyndon would be missed.
Jane or Weathers? Jane.
Weathers
Jane
would be missed. Jane.
Jane.
Do you want a number for Jane?
Yes.
I give.
No, it doesn't matter. I don't need a number for Jane. And he steps out of like the back room into the main area, but you can still clearly hear him. And he pulls the phone out and calls Fester back. Pick up.
Hey, yeah, what's up?
Jane. It's Jane.
Jane. Okay.
Jane.
All right, got
Okay.
it. Got it. No, that's it, buddy.
Yep.
Hands up.
All right, cash in favors. They're doing it now. You got 2 minutes. I bought you a 1 minute window. Jane can hopefully get her out. We'll know in a few minutes, I guess.
Call Jane and tell her?
No.
She hasn't
Don't
got time.
contact her. Don't talk to her.
How is she supposed to know?
How is she gonna know to get
I
her
already
out?
talked to...
Oh.
I called it.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll trust you on that.
It's not a...
It's worth a shot.
I guess we'll find out in a few minutes.
We pick up with a group of you gathered, bunkered down at Britta's secret cafe. In your possession, Mr. Zantosa remains present and actually seems rather docile, mostly focusing on paying Britta attention, but he certainly seems wary about her now that she's gone to kill him at least once. There's this long silence that kind of sits between the group of you as you wait for phone calls back or decide what it is that needs to be done next. And this old kind of quiet cafe it seems to have the resonance of like a graveyard. Like the group of you rather are just kind of in sullen silence. At this point, if Jane is to succeed or fail to save your daughter, Johnny, it's likely already happened.
I think I gotta go take a lap around the area of Elysium. If Jane made it out, she might need pickup, and I need to be there.
Shouldn't someone be with you?
I don't think so. I think we got too many things to accomplish tonight. I think we gotta split up. Speaking of which, Zantosa.
Yes.
Johnny sticks his finger out, pointing over at Neil. Can you fix that?
The Zantosa kind of turns and gives an eerie smile regarding his handiwork. Just bone spurs and like a ruined rib cage poking out of Neil. Yes, I can. If that is what you wish, of course.
Yeah.
Very good. You come close.
Neil, you can't be walking around looking like that.
Yeah,
No,
You can't, and you definitely can't show up to Elysium looking like that.
Yeah, I get it. I just don't feel comfortable with him touching me.
Once or twice, what's it going to make the difference?
I don't know the answer to that question, which
No
is why
one
I'm having
does.
hesitation. Yeah, see?
That will be fine. I will tend to you, Neil, and I will make you handsome again.
I don't...
Just the ribs.
Well, I'll adjust whatever part of him you like.
Now, if I get out on the road and Jane contacts one of you, can you send me a message on my beeper?
Yeah.
That can happen.
I do not know how it adjust you, Britta, but
Just
perhaps in time, if it is your wish, we can find ways.
Okay, no, we're done talking about this. now?
If you would just put his ribs back where they were before you moved them, that would be very, very helpful.
So this is
Thank
it.
you.
We're just going to do this then?
If Neil,
You can say
what's the
no.
other option?
Do not be afraid, Neil. I will take care of you.
You guys didn't see that thing the same way. It's not... It's intelligent. It's...
It is all things.
Yeah, and I don't want it in me any more than is necessary.
Neil, my friend,
Look, it's Neil's body.
we
He
know
gets
each
to
other
make the
very
choice.
well at this point, I like to think. And
You've been
what
inside me.
you must understand is it is all things. So long as you carry the curse of Cain within your blood, it is part of you.
Look, Zantosa, I asked you to fix
It
his
is your
ribs, not
future
say a bunch of
and-
crazy shit. So knock it off, do what I asked, and shut up.
Yes, Johnny, of course.
Neil, if you
Praise
want to
Cain.
say no, you can say no.
He kind of creeps over to Neil.
I was going to say, Neil gets to choose.
At this point, Zantosa smarms his way up to you with his hands extended and ready to go, but he does halt right before beginning to make modifications.
Neil has this really, conflicted, kind of sickened look on his face. He clearly wants his chest to be fixed. Having a big hole in your chest when your heart is your weak point is not cool. If he was mortal, he would probably be throwing up right now, is the look on his face.
Neil, I saw it too. I
Yes,
get it.
So you... Okay.
I get it. I do. We can't fix it until you're fixed. You can't do anything about this if you are not whole.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Do you want me to stand next to you while this happens?
If I start to turn into a big monster, can you put a fist through my head?
Yes.
You will not turn into a big monster, but it does help to sing. It takes your mind away from the pain.
Wynn just kind of stands
sire,
behind.
I will need a bit of blood if I'm going to perform the surgery.
Didn't I already feed you last night?
Yes, the art of vicissitude is quite taxing.
Alright, fine. Johnny puts out his arm again.
He pretty happily goes to the tap and sinks his fangs into Johnny's wrist. He slurps down just enough blood to do what it is that he needs to do.
Which is...
One treat. And then, kind of licking his lips, he heads over to Neil.
That is two
2 steps, yes.
2 steps now. Alright.
Nothing that Neil, just the ribs.
Just fix it. Just fix it. I don't...
Fix it. My friend Neil, you have many flaws. But I understand you just want the ribs adjusted.
Vito, what I mean is undo what you did.
The people who matter don't think so. And he kind of starts unbuttoning the ruins of his shirt.
Yes,
Damn
of
right,
course. Wise words said by
He's
many.
wearing a cardigan. He starts pulling a cardigan off.
Wise words said by many a mother. Yeah. We'll adjust you.
Wynn stands by and puts a hand on Neil's shoulder.
Does Neil have any weird features on his skin that we don't know about?
Does he have a third
Unless my teaching would have done something, which I don't think so. There's no scarification or anything as part of the process.
Pain is actually one of the methods that the Ladder of Heaven has climbed. However, you do not scar very much because you are...
True. I'm just
creature of the
wondering if,
night.
in the early nights, there was anything.
Scarring doesn't happen to vampires.
Cool. So then no. Neil, winces and starts to shudder as soon as the Zantosa touches him. And just, sort of softly under his breath starts mumble humming Moonchild by King Crimson.
There you are. Everything is going to be okay. You have nice ribs.
I drank a lot of milk in the 60s.
Alright.
I can
I'm
tell.
heading out to see if I can get to where Jane's going. Hopefully I can meet up with her. Vito, anything that comes out of Miles's mouth comes out of mine. Understood?
I think so.
Whatever he says is what I want you to take as if I had said it to you.
Yes, I understand now.
Johnny kind of gives him a glance, glances over at Miles to say, as if to say I'm sorry, and then starts walking out.
He kind of takes his time, and it is a grotesque ordeal. He adjusts the organs. He aligns the organs right. This membrane kind of is put back together, and then the ribs start being snapped back into place one at a time.
I cover his ears, Neil's ears, when the ribs start snapping.
Yes, it's very good to sing loud.
I can hear it on the inside. It doesn't do anything.
And he plucks
bone from Neil's heart, which is what caused the Fountain of Gore in the first place.
It's almost over, Neil.
Britta is
Almost
watching
over.
this like a hawk, just waiting for something to not look right.
Before long, everything's actually locked into place, and though he's got like blood staining on his skin, he largely actually looks okay.
Oh, so upsetting.
You did good, buddy.
You feel alright?
No.
It's over.
No, I don't feel alright.
He kind of pats you on the belly.
Okay.
You did good.
Okay. Have you guys a mirror in the bathroom?
I think so.
Neil's gonna go wander over to a mirror, and look at himself in the mirror, in like this sort of cracked bathroom mirror through eyes of chaos to see if there's anything wrong that he can tell. I have no idea if that would actually work, but this is what Neil does.
Okay. While he's wandering off, is anyone doing anything else?
Miles has been kind of looking out the back, out into like essentially the main room, into the street, kind of thinking. When Johnny leaves and all that happens, he grabs his phone and he goes towards the front and starts making a call for, in regards to the Suttites. I don't know who I have. Do I have Nofried or do I have her underling there?
You have...
I cannot.
Khalees.
Khalees answers, is this the wrong number?
I don't believe it is.
Miles, are you calling me on purpose?
I am. Are you not happy to hear from me?
I'm very happy to hear from you, Miles. Dare I say I expected you might one day. How can I help you?
I'm looking to talk to Nofried.
Many seek the wisdom of Nofried. But how can I help you?
Well, there is some not so great things happening in the city of New Haven. I find myself enjoying our continued enmity, but I'm stalled out by these individuals and the, I want to say, dishonorable cowardice acts that they are performing.
Miles, our enmity has expressed itself in so few ways. It would be a shame if you and I never quite went all the way.
That's true. It has been an enjoyable discourse so far, and I imagine that for many nights to come, we'll continue to test ourselves and our, let's call them minions, against each other.
Oof. Hearing you say it out loud is bad.
But Miles, what if I want to test you directly?
Well, then I'm going to need to make it through tonight.
That's true.
I don't really have time for that right now with the individuals in the city causing issues that repercussions will pretty much bury me.
Miles, we are immortal. Time is all we have.
True, we're immortal, but we're not unkillable.
I don't know if that's true about you, Miles.
Well, we can continue to keep testing that theory.
I have a different test in mind. Are you familiar with the gates?
No.
I see. I will make arrangements to help you and your minions, and in exchange, when I call upon you, you will join me willingly for one evening, and I will take you through one of the gates.
Does that involve the murder of innocents or anything at that such?
It involves,
You don't have to go into detail, but I do not want to be...
No, Miles, you see, this is all about detail.
Fine. I didn't know if you wanted to keep it a surprise.
It involves, a bit of freedom from your inhibitions, and that can take many forms, much like our conflict.
But everything will be my choice, in terms of inhibitions.
Miles, the gates are all about your choices.
So that sounds like you're agreeing with me.
Yes, of course. I have no intentions of making you a slave. That is the way of the venture. The way of the Setites is freedom.
Most likely, a slavery in a different way.
We can make games of that, but I'm no slaver.
I will agree to it.
Very well. And it just so happens that because I am taking you through one of the gates, you will have an opportunity to meet Great Nofried. As a priestess, she prefers to keep an eye on such things.
So what about in helping tonight? What am I getting out of that?
You define the help that you need, and I will let you know as to whether or not we can acquiesce.
At the bare minimum, I need muscle. Anything that can counteract a Tremere would be fantastic. You seem to have bodies aplenty over there.
There are bodies aplenty everywhere, Miles.
Yes. Not all of them come as full-blooded kindred, though.
They can if you want them to. But yes, of course, muscle is easy.
What about the Tremere?
The Tremere have a curious history with the followers of Set. You see, when they became kindred, the magic they had possessed in life was lost to them. And they had to develop new means of applying their hermetic philosophies so that they would be able to perform miracles again. And when they could not, they came to the followers of Set. The truth is, that Tremere might that Mr. Reis likes to flaunt was made by Setites.
So it sounds like you have an answer.
There is nothing he can do that we do not have an answer for.
Well, that's what I like to hear. We plan on being in Elysium within the next 2 hours.
I will make a point of having a number of agents there, and if things escalate to the point of violence, you will have their support. If you intend to brandish them as a threat to your enemies, they will nod in support of whatever threat you intend to make.
Are you coming?
Is there going to be a fight?
It's a possibility.
Then no.
Fair enough.
But you won't need me to be there in order for my presence to be felt.
I hear that. I was just hoping to see you.
You will, just not tonight.
Fair enough.
She hangs up.
Did you call us minions?
It's what she understood.
Britta has been listening, but has resisted the temptation to be listening with Auspex. Barely.
Look, you have to talk to individuals as they like to be understood. And yes, I called people minions. Have you not called me names?
I didn't imply that you were under me.
Oh, so we're being technical now from you.
Yep. Every so often, I reveal that I spent 2 semesters at community college.
So you're technical when it's convenient.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
fair enough.
I'm more worried about what's a gate.
I don't know. We'll find out when that happens, but I wasn't really in a position to say no.
It's a Setite magic thing?
That's a pretty good guess.
Probably has to do with sex, drugs, or rock and roll, so...
I'm a fan of some of those things.
Neil pokes his head out of the bathroom. You guys talking about magic stuff?
As Miles walks back, yes, I think we are. Or it could just be some sort of ritual. I'm not entirely sure.
Rituals are magic stuff.
Well, Neil...
Not always.
More
I feel like the
thing.
Catholic religion has been operating for a while without casting magic every single time.
There are,
They have a ritual.
there's probably Catholic sorcerers.
So all rituals aren't magic.
Neil, do you know anything about Setite stuff?
As a generality, maybe. I know about sorcery.
She said something about going through a gate.
Does that ring any bells with me?
Give me intelligence plus occult difficulty 8.
Can
Does
I make
the
that roll?
sorcery spec apply to this?
Yes, it does.
All right.
Can I make that roll too?
Yep.
Intelligence? 7, but I'm still down 2 dice for being mauled. So I'm back down to a 5. Hey, 3 successes.
Diff 8? No successes.
Okay. Neil, you know they're not thaumaturgical in nature, but the followers of Set perform rituals intended to open the mind of would-be members of their cult. And what it does, the intent, is to overload their senses regarding one aspect of morality to the point where it no longer directs their choices. And they believe this as an act that liberates them from slavery to the aeons.
So I'm thinking about how I would put that through a Duranki filter.
It's like it's
kind
like
of
someone
like
taking an addiction, right? It's
Yeah.
like they're addicted to say smoking cigarettes. It's a very, very simplified version.
Sure.
Of it. But it's the equivalent of making you smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke until you've smoked so much that the call of nicotine is just meaningless to you. And you're so revolted by it that it no longer holds power over you.
Catch your kid smoking a cigarette. It's like, all right, we're smoking a carton.
Exactly.
only they
I was
force
going to
it
say
so
it's
that
a late night
Except
L5R
in
sessions.
this case, they'll do it in the form of something that is like ecstasy.
Yeah.
And they'll overload you to the point where like no one's beauty or no carnal desire really fucking matters to you anymore because you're so like numb to it.
through a Duranki, it's like a Shipu who get lost on the second level of the ladder and then just never come back.
Right.
Okay. Oh, okay. Why? What about the gates?
I have to go through a gate and...
Oh, Okay.
Or she will take me to a
No,
gate.
yeah, she'll take you through a gate.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. She's trying to indoctrinate you into the Setites.
Wouldn't be the first organization.
No, but this one's sort of... Okay, wow, how do I think about this without referencing the letter? Think about it like this. You, what's a driving force for you, Miles? What's a driving moral principle?
I feel like...
You don't have to tell me.
Okay.
But think of one of your internal driving morals.
I've imagined it.
Okay. They're gonna sort of overload that moral principle of your life so much, so hard, and so often that you're overwhelmed by it, and then it no longer matters to you.
Oh, an information and sensory overload.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, isn't that part of, like, brainwashing techniques?
Yeah, but, like, spiritually, magically.
Got it.
So, if you want to stay yourself, you know, go into that with, I don't even know if a strong will and a sense of caution would even do anything, but we can cross, if you know when you're going, you and I can try and cross that bridge when we get there.
Sure,
Try and maintain your sense of you.
That's a tomorrow night problem.
Yeah.
And you got out of it, what, some muscle?
I've seemed to have gotten a counteraction to the Tremere and a whole bunch of full-blooded Setite kindred. Yeah.
Political leverage to buy us time.
People to counteract the Brujah and court currently.
Leverage.
Yeah. Not necessarily
Leverage
political.
but to put things back on an even playing field in Elysium.
Correct. To buy us time.
Okay.
And possibly, if I can earn us some favors there, give me a chance to talk to some of the Brujah, we'll see what I can do.
I'm a little surprised you reached out to the Setites, if I'm being totally honest. I thought they wanted to kill you. They were
Yes, but...
And that didn't sound like an unfriendly conversation.
No, very good enemies are... It's hard to... Having the worth of a man is shown by the enemies that he keeps.
Such a Venture thing to say.
Okay.
So she has shown herself so far to be an honorable and straightforward enemy versus Shaw and others that we're dealing with.
I would caution you that enemies who look straightforward and who you assume are acting straightforward are those who are most capable of catching you off guard.
Sure. But right now, one, she has muscle, and two...
I'm not saying you made a bad call.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's probably the only call that we've got, and kudos to you for even thinking of it, but I'm just worried about your... I know this is going to sound weird coming from me, of all people, right now, but I'm worried about your soul.
I mean, I'm generally worried about my soul, but...
No, but like in a more immediate and understandable sense.
Every night.
If you say so. Oh, sure. Okay. So what's the next move?
We gotta go to the Elysium. I bought us a little time.
We can't bring him.
I'm debating.
Neil points at
I know. I understand that. I'm not sure.
It's an Elysium if they take an action against him.
I don't know.
No, he's not protected. Why would he be protected?
Isn't
He's Johnny's
he
child.
Johnny's?
He's not acknowledged yet.
That's the issue.
But there's no violence on Elysium.
That's
it
that
gets
is
pretty
a technical, you are technically 100% accurate. But if, like, I don't know, some sort of monster or something shows up and starts wrecking Elysium, people are going to fight back and then brush it under the rug. And yes, having us and the Setites on our side helps to counteract their ability to sweep stuff under the rug, but that doesn't mean, they could make it seem very reasonable, and Shaw and Reis are both very good at disappearing people,
And currently the Seneschal is in power, which means he can make determinations like destruction.
Exactly.
That is true.
And so we can't bring the Zantosa. He's our only. I mean, Miles just bought us another chip, but
What if he doesn't look like him?
They're expecting it, and they know we have him. So if some other rando shows up with us, they don't even. I don't even know if most of them, except for Shaw, know what he looks like. So it doesn't.
On top of that, it's getting more and more blood, and we're not exactly overflowing with that.
No.
So let's talk about the resources we do.
Okay,
have.
so somebody needs to go to the Elysium, and it has to happen now, right?
Yes, I need
Johnny's
to stop at
on
home.
his way.
My suggestion is, Wynn's not wrong, you're not wrong about the potential for violence. Having me there with you is not going to be as helpful. I would say, Johnny is understandably going for a walk, or a drive, or whatever, Johnny.
He's going to Elysium.
Okay, so he'll be in the area, but if he's acting in a way that I anticipate he might act, he might not actually be there, depending on how successful Jane is.
Yeah.
Which means you need Wynn.
Yeah.
But only if you can keep yourself in check.
I can keep myself in check.
Reis is going to be there. He's going to push your buttons.
He is.
You can be okay with that?
I will do a lot to protect you guys.
Okay.
Just wait for the moment. Reis's time is not up, but I don't
Waning.
I don't like his stay, at least in this particular domain.
Vito has to stay here, or has to stay not there, and Britta, you kind of have to stay with Vito.
What about with
Right.
Marcos?
I'm not leaving him with Marcos, but we're going to stop by my
You guys
haven.
can. What I'm saying is, if he is going to listen to Britta, he has to be with Britta, but
Right.
we have seen that, no offense, Britta, please don't be upset that I'm mentioning this, but you...
But I tried to shoot him.
Yeah, you can't necessarily be trusted 100% alone with him. So one of us needs to stay here with you, with him.
That leads me to my next thing before I go. And it also means
I'm the only one left.
and I need to have a discussion with Britta by herself.
Okay.
I need to eat. So if you need to have that discussion before we go to Elysium, I'll take that time and go
Be
for
quick.
Yeah, Wynn and I can be quick. You want to go out, and then we'll leave you guys alone?
Yeah.
Is that, Miles, is that...
That should be fine, but
Okay. I'm also starving. But we gotta wait.
That'll be
If
fine.
you'd rather me be here.
No,
You're the boss. So,
go eat.
Okay. Now that I have permission,
Come on, buddy, let's go get some scumbags.
Neil nods towards the door and walks out with Wynn, leaving Britta and Miles alone.
Then it was just the two of you.
And a
And,
Zantosa.
I assume he's locked in a bathroom
and
somewhere.
Vito kind of quietly minding his own business while the two of you sit together in awkward silence, just Miles and Britta.
First, is there like a bathroom or something that we can lock Zantosa into for right now?
I was just in there. It was
Yes,
established
there
that there was a bathroom.
There is indeed a bathroom.
Is there a window in the bathroom?
Point of clarification on
Yeah.
all of this. So he was a ghoul.
Oh,
I'm just saying, who already had like disciplines. I also embraced him Bruja, which means that he probably has potence.
oh yeah, it just makes me feel better.
It shouldn't. It means that he's going.
It
you,
means-
and you know that Bruja break things.
Yeah, and it'll make noise at that point. That's really all I'm looking for. I don't want him to like creeping around the corner. I just like yeah. That's exactly what I want to
Try
avoid.
talking to him.
Yeah, yes, I would like to have a private conversation with Britta. Can you like fuck off? But I don't want him to like leave.
I was given permission to go.
Yeah,
Dominate people. You can.
I could. I've been not doing that, and like I don't know if you noticed.
That's a seal he can't.
He's going through that gate
broken
later
that
anyway.
Unpop.
Like
He's going through that gate later anyways. Is that
I
right?
did it to Britta, and that's basically been one of the few people I've mesmerized.
Uh-huh.
And that's because I was afraid she was going to start
I
shooting
mean, lock somebody
me.
in the bathroom. I'm just saying.
Just draw a chalk outline around him. Just be like, don't leave the circle.
Okay, this seems childish. So I'm going to lock him in the bathroom.
All right.
I look over at the Zantosa. I'm like, can you give us some room? Just go behind a closed door, but stay nearby.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Where did Johnny go?
He went to go check on something.
What is he checking on?
Is it important?
Yes.
He's gone to check on... What's the word I'm looking for here? Someone under his care.
Yeah, someone under his care? Mm-hmm. Okay. He kind of wanders off.
Please stay inside the building.
Miles?
Please sit.
Britta does find a seat and sits kind of gingerly, crossing her legs and her arms over herself.
So you have a choice to make. And I'm not even guaranteeing that I can do anything at this point. But right now you have both a blessing and a curse. Right now, you can choose what you're doing. You know who you are currently, and you have a relatively blank slate. But it's starting to show. Something that what you were showed up with the Zantosa, and has slowly been showing up since you started being more comfortable. It may be a discipline of the mind, and I might be able to break through and see your memories prior.
You want to use the mind control thing, the discipline on me.
It's a possibility. One, it might not work for various reasons. And two, you might not want it to work.
Neil was saying something like that too, like maybe I don't want to know my past, like maybe I want to leave some things in the dark, and the more that I do that, I don't want to do that. I don't even know that I'm doing, I don't know if you or if Neil or anyone is right about that. Maybe I don't want it to work, but I only have who I am now. And who I am now, I think you should try it, Miles. If you think it would help,
Do not phrase it in those ways. You need to make a choice. Do you want to know what is in your past, and it may come with a whole slew of new complications? Or do you want to keep it locked up? Do you want to keep being you that you know now? Not about helping. This is a choice you need to make. And this has been a choice that I've been telling you that you're probably going to need to make since we first started this.
Yes. There's only one option to me. To unlock it.
All right. You still don't have any weapons, right?
Sorry?
Well, I'm pretty sure we disarmed you, right? But do you have any other weapons on you? I'd really rather not get stabbed.
Britta pats herself down as if, not sure if she would have forgotten that she had, a pistol or something on her. She isn't carrying any weapons. And she shows her empty hands.
5 minutes later, there's just a fucking pile of knives and guns.
Just more knives than any
one more
person needs.
pulls one out of a boot.
Wait, how do you even get one under the ribcage here?
Talk to Vito.
Right. So he gets up, he stands over, and kind of puts his hands, around the eyes, and, looks directly into them and goes, "Let's see what they buried in here."
Okay, Miles.
And I will try the forgetful mind and see if it's even something that this is.
Let's roll it.
Britta's sitting very still, very much allowing Miles to do this and sitting, almost trying to help him with her own posture and the openness of her expression.
It is probably also the closest he's ever been.
Yeah, because what was it? You had your hands on her temples, probably?
Basically around, my hands are framing your eyes almost.
Yeah.
Because I'm basically looking directly into them.
Yeah. This close, you can really see how light Britta's eyes are. Wide because of the circumstance. But she's looking back at you.
It's the abyss addressing me.
That's when you notice she has mouths for eyes.
Okay.
Doe
Her lashes are teeth.
Miles, I need you to make a wit subterfuge roll. The difficulty of this roll is 10.
Do you mean wit's empathy?
Sorry, wit's empathy.
Yep. I am spending a willpower.
Diff 10, you said?
Yes. That is factoring in your -2 difficulty.
Okay. 3 successes.
Okay.
That's including your willpower?
Yep.
Okay.
So, the process for using this discipline requires you to speak to her as though you're a hypnotist, evoking memories. So you lock eyes with her, and what do you say?
Listen to the sound of my voice. Be calm. As we go back, I need you to tell me about who trained you to use a gun. Who trained you to deal with kindred?
I remember the man from that vision that I had.
And as you kind of try to think back to that vision, you feel as though you're splashed with cold, cold ocean water. When you open your eyes, you no longer feel or see or hear the conversation that you're having with Miles. And instead, you feel the sensation of that odd weightlessness that kind of comes with being on a small boat. You are in an ashen gray world. On this little boat is yourself, 3 others, young children. You don't know their names. You never really met them. And however, you do know that the individual that is leading you, this person that is clad in
this black cowl with strange silver and yellow, like, trimming adorning it, kind of detailing all these, like, strange occult symbols. Symbols that would be important to you one day, but are just bizarre and meaningless to you in this moment. It gets off the boat, and it turns to each of you, extending a cold, dead hand. And one at a time, you take its hand, and it leads you onto shore. And this person, they look to be of kind of like a Eastern descent, with kind of receding, thinning hair. And as it helps you and kind of takes your little hand, it gives you this eerie smile with teeth, like sharp teeth, that kind of go from ear to ear and extend a little longer than they should. Strangely, like, very similar to like how you remember Shaw. And for a moment you're like aware of present day, but then, you're firmly back there again. This broad smiled figure kind of takes you onto land, and it whispers to you, "You are a chosen child, and you will do the work of those who sleep. You will come with me and you will learn, and I will make you more than you are, more than you could have been. It is a fair trade for the gift of flesh that your parents have provided me. For their sustenance, I will give you a new life." And it kind of like leads you along, and at first you're not completely sure, but then there are these other fragments of memories of this creature that has you eating flesh of your newly dead parents. You don't remember their names, you don't even remember well what they look like, but you do remember the way their flesh looked, being like gnawed and chewed on by this thing with razor sharp teeth. And it leads you in, and your memory kind of fades again, and you find yourself at what's kind of a classic firing range. But again, the world is ashen gray and dark, and there is a man with ebon skin who is very difficult to keep track of. He's very light on his feet. You never quite hear him while he's moving around. Just this very elegant and skilled man. And you're at this firing range, and he just has you assembling and disassembling a gun over and over and over again, running drills to the point where your knuckles have gone numb. And you don't know how long you've been here at this point, because you stand a little taller, you're a little more mature. And then time passes again, and you find yourself kind of moving through these streets, cobblestone, somewhere in Europe, you're not completely sure. And it's just this series of flashes of memories of assembling and disassembling guns over and over and over and over again. Miles, you're not completely sure it worked. You talk to her for a moment, and she looks back at you and just kind of gives this wide, eerie, toothy smile. And then the effect of the dominate fades. Britta, you come to again, locking eyes with Miles, with these very strange memories fresh in your mind.
She raises a hand to her face and can feel that she was smiling. She doesn't remember doing.
No, you just know that you were smiling just like he smiled at you.
And her fingers sort of linger along the line of her mouth, and where a very wide mouth would connect from ear to ear, almost as if she's checking that there's still flesh there, that her lips don't open that wide. Once that sort of tactile confirmation goes through in her brain, she'll take her hand back, put it back in her lap, and look at you and say, "I remember some things now."
That's good. Is it something I can do something about?
A man with a wide smile, not just a wide smile, a smile almost like his mouth is too big for his face. Eating my parents.
Hold a sec. I go behind the counter or something like that and grab a pencil and go, I don't want you to lose this, and I'm pretty much useless in this kind of information. Please write this down while you're still fresh.
Britta takes the pen and paper and just starts writing. And way more than she was telling you. She seems to be starting from the beginning, but as you can see while she's taking the notes, they're very quick. And they sort of almost have a circuitous nature to them, like she's kind of panicking while writing it down. You see big hesitations, however. Points where her eyes fill up with tears. Points where...
Somewhere along the way, I will tell you to calm down. And want you to remember that you're still under mesmerism.
You will see sort of a hand flick. Something that looks familiar to you. The first movement of her resetting a gun. And that might be a point that you would notice that she's iffy.
Keep writing for a second. Let me go check on Zantosa.
Okay.
So I go make sure he's still here.
He is not.
Awesome. Awesome. I love everyone.
Give me a frenzy check.
Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the classic world of darkness. Britta, the unknown new embrace, was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Johnny Saxon the Bruja was played by Garrett Gabbey. Miles Davenport the Ventrue was played by Tim Davis. Neil Foster the Malkavian was played by Rob Muirhead. Wynn Cabot the Gangrel was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Lex Lopez. Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was January Grunge Love Fest by Technoax. Visit them online at technoax.com. TEKNOAX.com. Path of Night uses the 20th Anniversary Edition rule set of Vampire the Masquerade with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the Storyteller system are owned by Paradox Interactive. Make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at @PathOfNightPod, on Facebook at facebook.com/PathOfNightPodcast, or email us at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time, Kindred. I'm sorry, that's such a fucking Ventrue line. Freedom sounds like a different type of slavery.
All right, Venture, fucking chill. Freedom, that sounds dumb. Loser.